Like we said, in the year 2022, there was a general election where the two warring parties in Kenya, that is the Azimio la Umoja, one Kenya Alliance, and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, that is the UDA and its affiliated parties, were running for the election. Kenya Kwanza, that was Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and the Azimio la Umoja had appointed or nominated Raila Amolo Odinga at its flag bearer. Fortunately or unfortunately, Raila did not win. So Dr. William Samoei Ruto won and declared the winner. Then the Azimio la Umoja candidate went to court. The court upheld that Nani won. The Supreme Court said that Ruto won. Ruto forms the government. The government is formed. The price of unga is very high. The price of petrol is very high. And then there is a demonstration the following year. That's 2023. This is the demonstration of sufurias, the sufuria demonstrations. The Azimio people had a demonstration. They were complaining. They were saying that the prices of the food had gone very high, and they wanted the price to go down. And they were saying that the government should look for ways of putting the price down. The dollar had surged. I think the price of the dollar was that $1 had gone up to about 170. It didn't get to 70, but I think 60 something. But in the black market, you could get it at 170. Anyway, it went down after that. But after the demonstration was very fierce. Then there was a disagreement now between the Kenya Kwanza government again. What Nani did was very crafty. What the president did was very crafty. He took the Northeastern Party, Northeastern Kenya Party. There is a party, I can't remember its name, but there is a party of the Northeastern part. There were about 9 members who he brought them into Kenya Kwanza. So Kenya Kwanza now had the majority in parliament because if it had gone the way it was, if he had not brought these people, it would have been not the majority. But now these people came, he had the majority. So he also, the people who were independent and some who were from other smaller parties who had maybe not joined the Azimio coalition were looped into Kenya Kwanza. So Kenya Kwanza was declared the majority party in parliament, and things started running that way. Kenya Kwanza continued being the majority. Okay, there was a court case that had been taken to court. So the court eventually pronounced that the majority seats in parliament should be Azimio party. But somehow, I don't know, it never happened. And one of the things that I want people to realize is that there was a lot of confusion because the party of ODM, which was one of the strongest opposition parties in parliament, had agreed, or had in 2024, by the time this ruling was coming, had already joined hands in what they had called a broad-based government. What had happened is that around June 18th, when the Parliament was trying to perhaps the bill of the finance bill of 2024-2025, there were a lot of arguments. There were the youths, and not only the youths, a lot of interested parties, economists, business people had refused, and they had put and their input into the public participation of the finance bill was not taken care of. So the MPs did not listen to what the people had said. So they passed the bill anyway. They decided to pass the bill anyway. But before they passed the bill, there was this protest of saying that the bill should not be passed. And then there was a demonstration, there was a protest in the streets. We call it the youth protest because majority of the Gen Zs had come out to protest against that bill because it had increased the taxation bracket and also the taxes of a lot of goods and products. So people did a very peaceful demonstration. They came out with their handkerchiefs. They came out with their handkerchiefs and their phones, and it was very, 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 very nice. People were really surprised, especially the political elite, the legendary politicians were really surprised because these youth were very, very, very organized. So they told Parliament not to pass the bill, but Parliament did not listen. So they came out again on the 20th, I think 2 days after that. They came up even with they came out again in a bigger number, and they were still not listened to. And then the weekend comes. After the weekend, then that Tuesday, I think the 20-something, they were supposed to now pass the bill because they were debating the bill. When this bill was being rejected, when the Gen Zs were telling the parliamentarians to reject the bill, this was after the budget had been read. So they were telling them to reject the finance bill. But the parliamentarians did not reject. So the bill was passed, I think, on the 22nd or something. Because on the 25th of June, I think whether they passed it or they didn't pass it. I think this is the day they were passing the bill. This is the day they passed the bill, on the 25th of June. Yeah. So there was a big demonstration, a big protest, and the Gen Zs managed to go up to the Parliament buildings. They got into there, and the parliamentarians ran away. It was a big fight. The police had been involved. But one thing that I want to remind you is that when the legacy politicians saw that the demonstration was very successful, and then the opportunists, gangs that thrive when there are demonstrations, joined into the demonstrations, and there was a lot of looting on the 20th. And then after the 20th, I think on the 22nd again, there were even goons were now even arranged. Actually, on the 25th, there were even more goons. But the Gen Z still came out, and they got it up to the Parliament, and they broke into Parliament. They even lit some fire. Some fire was lit at some place at City Hall and also at the Supreme Court. Government called quickly the army. The army came into the streets because the demonstration were almost over. They had actually overpowered the police. That's how they managed to get into the Parliament. I mean, out of all the demonstrations that has happened in Kenya, this was the first demonstration that the young people, the Gen Zs this time, got up and till up and into the parliament building itself. They even were seen, enjoying lunch in there. The MPs were very scared, but since there is a tunnel under there that had been built, they used the tunnel to run to their safety. But it was very, 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 very scary. So the MPs got very scared. So the president did not assent to the bill, just to cool the temperatures down. And then there, the opposition leader, the late Raila, had not passed on then, went and kind of agreed to work with the president. So they formed what was called a broad-based government, but it's not official. This is just political, because there is no statutes that formed that government. And 4 people, that is Joho, Mombasa, this man from Kakamega, former governor, Oparanya, this former chairman of ODM, that is Bandi, and his other the current the chairman then, Opio Wandae. They were all given cabinet posts. And the opposition ODM said that they had just loaned them experts, in quotes, whatever experts mean, to line up the government or to straighten up the government policies and the governance structures. But it didn't do anything. It was just a political move to calm down and to suppress the demonstrators, these Gen Z demonstrators. The Gen Zs took a back seat. Of course, they continued for a while up to the one called Nane Nane. But by the time Nane Nane was coming up, and after that, everything cooled down, and the government continued running now as what they would have called broad-based. The people who did not agree with them called them blood-based. Some called them broad-based because they were eating bread, and the blood because they had poured a lot of blood for them to get there. A lot of blood had been poured for that coalition to come up. So you see that demonstration did not succeed as it were, but it succeeded because it actually ran into parliament and told them they cannot continue debating in there because they are not doing the right thing. But the government, being what it is, has still continued doing it. So they waited until this year, 2025, and then they did a memorial demonstration. That is on the 25th of June of this year, 2025. It was quite okay, but you see now the government was very aware that it's going to be there, so they organized with a lot of vigor, and they paid some, what you call the goons, some people to come and dismantle the demonstrators, the protesters, to, they infiltrated the demonstration. So it didn't go very well, and the young people, since they were happy, clever and wiser, they didn't come out in big numbers, but the few who came were actually, some of them were hurt. But you remember from the 2024 one, so many people were killed. So I think the number now goes up to about 200, because of, if you even remember, there were some people who had been found in a Kware, area of Nairobi, where bodies were being retrieved from a dump site in the Kware area. There, I think Mukuru Kwanjenga zone, that kind of that area of the Kware, that side of the Kware, near Mukuru Kwanjenga there, and the government stopped it, and the person who was arrested, actually, the in charge of CID came up, gave out a statement, but this person was later, it was reported that later this person who had been arraigned or arrested as aligned as the perpetrator, the person who killed these people, actually disappeared. So the case was is kind of has never continued. So there are a lot of problems that are going on now. So we are still waiting. We are still waiting because now this has shown that what happens is as soon as the politicians see that the opposition or the opposing side is coming strong, they infiltrate and they start buying them out. They start pulling them out. People like Samuel was taken to Raila by Gaucho. Actually was first taken to, I think, his mkutano ya nani, what do you call this, Jacaranda. They tried to talk there. Somehow he was taken up to see him, Raila, so he was incorporated as a youth in the youth league of ODM. So you see that's the kind of things they did. Somebody like Morara, who had also come up very well. We understand that he came out. He decided he stopped doing unearthing what he was unearthing. He was doing very good, but somehow the people they were working together, they disagreed. So the government infiltrated, through the NIS, the National Intelligence Service. The people who were coming out as the leaders were actually not. We can't say they were bought, but they were. The organization, because it came out as an organization which was leaderless, partyless, tribalist, was not able to stand on its own. But between me and you, I want to tell you that this movement is still very strong, and they are in the background. They are using the, what you call the internet, the social media, to talk to each other. So we are still not through with that opposing team or movement of the Gen Z. I still can see it moving to further on. But now they are doing it now. I think they are cleverer. They are not coming out in the open, but they are doing it. I think they meet through those social medias. They talk through social media. So we are still waiting and see what will happen. But we'll urge them, if they want, they should just go out. And now that the electoral body has been formed, register as voters, and just come out in large numbers. If they come as in large numbers as we know they are, they'll be able to maybe not topple but win an election. And I think we are still waiting. We are still waiting, but I know they are going to vote wisely, and I'm very sure that if the government of the day or the legacy politicians don't watch out, these young people will take over. I think they will have a lot of influence either in Parliament or in the Senate, and they'll be able to fight the government from inside. And that is what we would encourage them to do. Instead of going for demonstration or protests, those are not the best. You go the structured way, but what you need to do is what you've done before. Study, understand the systems, get to know where the problems came from. I started with telling you that the problems started in when there was agitation for independence through the people like Kina Mwindi Mbingu fighting for their land. Then you came to the Mau Maus, then you came to the Lancaster, then you came to the one party, then the multi-party, and now the demonstrations. I think something is going to happen. Something is going to happen, but it's important to try and find out where the rain started beating us. The rain started beating us as soon as we were colonized, because like you would hear people articulate very well, people like Kina Jimmy Wanjigi, they'll tell you that it was a company, Imperial British East Africa Company, that came. So our government is still run as a company. There are people with, no wonder the former deputy president was saying that shareholding, was talking of shareholding, because you go to this government to make money. Instead of fighting for the mwananchi, the government of Kenya is an enterprise. It's a business. A lot of people are going into politics to make money. So the young people, try and understand that you are not going there to make money. You are going there to fight for your rights, to fight for your freedom, to fight for your land, because your land is going to go if you don't get involved in politics. So let's all the young people get involved in politics, understand, study and understand. Go back from the Imperial East African Company up to today and find out where the Kenya government is still run like a company, because we want to dismantle that and run it as a government. Structures, we have to put the government structures in a way that it helps the mwananchi, the person on the street, the person who wants to live a good life, the person who wants to live morally upright, because there is a lot of infiltration into the government system by immoral people who are not also upright, people who just want to make money, people who are selfish. Then you find that it becomes a little bit difficult to expect the government to do much for you. And you see, when you are alone, it's not easy also to do things by yourself. So we want to unite, we want to get together, form a party. If we don't form a party, everybody runs as an independent, get into parliament. When you get into parliament, then you can make a coalition there and come together and fight for your rights, fight for your land, fight for Kenya, fight, because unless you do that, nobody will do it for you. Thank you very much. We will give you more updates on how now to go into the next phase of fighting for your rights, because you've done up to the protest of 2025 and 2024 and 2025, and you've seen that the fruits are starting to show. Everybody is now aware. Everybody's talking about the Gen Z. So it's just a matter of the Gen Zs just sitting down, taking a break like they have taken. And I know they have not taken a break. They are still working and get to understand. The most important thing is to understand when the rain started beating us. As soon as you understand when the rain started beating us, you will have a lot of information, that will help you, will enable you to fight for your rights. It will enable you to go into the ballot and get elected and fight for the masses. Because the problem is that nobody fights for the masses. Everybody goes there. When they are looking for the votes, they'll tell you that they're going to fight for you. But basically they don't. When they get there, and you can bear witness from 1963, everybody that has gone there, the majority have just gone there to enrich themselves and to protect the wealth of the land they have grabbed legally or illegally. Okay, they have not grabbed legally. Some are state assisted. Some people who have a lot of land here were helped by the state. And like I told you earlier, this was done basically to make sure that you protect the land that belongs to the people who had colonized us, who said that they had given us independence, but it was just, I don't know, it's just independence for political independence, but not economic. And what we are looking for now is the economic independence. Thank you very much. We think we'll stop there.